Out here working on the wife's car, and I need a little interior refresh. So what I'm going to try to do today, and over the next coming weeks, waiting on parts, is I'm going to try to kind of show you how you can freshen up your interior on a budget. Let's take a look at the car. Now, I did this car for her about a year ago, and I bought it about 18 months ago. And it was a real rusty pile, but I did the body and paint work, hung a couple quarters on it, and it really came around. But the interior, while original, is kind of faded, although in really good shape. Let's take a look at the seats. Now you can see there, the seats are pretty good, really. Just some fading, a small tear, but we won't worry about that right now. That's the expensive part. And we're just trying to go on a budget here. So what I've done so far is I pulled the carpet out in the seats, and I've prepped and re-dyed the dashboard. It's in perfect shape. I mean, no cracks. So what I'm going to try to show you is how we go about doing that. So what we got here is a good interior dye. Now this is for plastics, vinyls, anything. This is a flexible coating. If you spray this, if you try to spray rattle can spray paint on your dashboard, it is going to be gooier than the tar pits, alright? So you want to use something like this. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's $15 a can, but this is SEM color coat, and it'll hold up just as long as the factory stuff. I mean, this is good stuff. So I think what we're gonna do is, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna patch these two little spots of rust that are in the floor here. We got one here. He's just a little guy, about $50 really. And then this guy over here, and I've already trimmed out the rust as far as I'm willing to go. And what I'm doing is probably not correct, but I'll show you what I like to do. So I start with a rust converter, and this stuff will kill the rust and brings it back around, turns it into kind of a black oxide. And you can get that at any parts store. And I know you might think, oh, that's gimmicky, but it actually works. And it's not a bad deal, like $9. And I've already coated the floor here, and you can see where it turns into that black coating. You're going to need a few things. Small work like this. Just a random piece of metal that you found on the ground. Impact driver. Self-tapping screws. JB Weld in the big tubes. Piece of cardboard. So you might say, oh, and a nibbler. Where did it go? Nibbler. This is for cutting sheet metal. Works really good. You don't need anything fancy. I think they're 25 bucks at Harbor Freight. Now, you might say, Dale, are we gonna measure this? Are we gonna exactly butt weld something in there. No, we're not. You know why? Because it's under the carpet and nobody cares. So nobody's going to see it. Nobody will even know it's there. So what we're going to do, we're just going to kind of get our rough shape, something like that. If the metal isn't dusty enough, you might want to go ahead and, get you a, one of them scratcher marker crayon, maybe. Hook your up. Cut along your perfectly measured out line. This thing shoots metal everywhere, so make sure it's not pointing at anything or anybody. Alright, got our metal. Now, you can see here, it's roughly the shape we need, but we've got this bend going on here. So I'm going to put a small relief cut about right here. That should do the trick. And an important part here, you kind of want to trial fit this before you go epoxying it down. So I need a hammer, and I didn't bring one. All right. Now, that's the way it went. No, yeah, that. So just tweak it down. This is some really quality metal. Straight out of Uzbekistan, I think. Start to get our shape in with that. Have to be perfect at all. So we need to put another little relief cut in here. There we go. All right. Now that is good enough to suck it down, I think. Let me mix up a little bit of this epoxy. You got white and you got black. Now you need an even amount of both. That 50-50, and a little bit goes a long way. So we'll just mix it up. Mix it up. Goodness gracious. Roll it up like your toothpaste. Get every drop out of it. Don't be wasting it. You might say, Dale, this is not the right way to do it. And you'd be right. But it's free to me. And it'll work just fine. And only you and me are going to know. Perfect. You might say, Dale, you use JB Weld an awful lot. I know. Tell them that I need a sponsor. I will use JB Weld to fix anything. Anything. And this is really more, this is an exceptionally nice car. And someone who had any self-worth at all probably wouldn't do this. But this is something that I think most of y'all, especially younger folks, you got a pickup truck or something, your floors are rusty, your girlfriend fell out last week going to the store. You can do this, okay? Don't get distracted by the big name guys and their, oh, you got to cut every ounce of rust out of a car. You can't drive it if you don't do that. Well, that's bullshit, frankly. This makes the car nicer. It makes it better and easier to drive. It makes it comfortable. Seals up your floors so your cigarettes don't fall out. And it just makes sense, folks. I mean, not everything has to be perfect. Half of those guys, they tear the car apart, tear it apart, it sits apart in pieces for years. And they don't get to drive it or enjoy it. They end up paying someone to put it back together for them. And then you're, then into a car for $30,000. That takes all the fun out of it for me. I like to get into them as cheap as I can, put as little money into them as I can, and have as much fun as I can. That doesn't mean everything I build is garbage, because it's not. Yeah, it is. But it's really a philosophical question of, do you need to have everything exactly perfect in your life? If you might say, Dale, are you personally attacking everyone who nitpicks cars? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. You know, like all them TV guys, you know, like the hot rod garage and stuff. Oh, you could do this in your garage at home. Well, you could do this really easy on your garage at home. And their garage is like a, 4,000 square foot warehouse with like 3 lifts and plasma cutters, welders, and 12 air compressors, and who knows what they got in there. Sorcery, I think. Well, frankly, that's crap. You don't need it. I got a pole barn. I got an old compressor that squeals real bad. I got JB Welding cardboard. And I built a car like this. Now, you might say, Dale, that's not going to glue itself. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Good eye, son. So, I like Phillips head self-tappers. You can use whatever you like. Your results may vary. Oh, no. There we go. That was a good one. So what you want to do is start on one end and work your way to the next. That way the metal kind of moves with you. That went right in the hole. Of course it did. Well, we'll leave it. Hopefully you can see this. There we go. Your key thing here is make sure that this doesn't stick up too much, or you'll see it through the carpet. So we just want to make sure we get this down and tucked in. If I was doing a patch panel, like on a car, like a body panel, I would pull the screws back out and plug weld them. But with this, I'll just leave them in. It'll be fine. And again, don't laugh at the epoxy. A lot of new cars are put together with something real similar to that. It's called cold welding, and it works really well. Not everything has to be done perfect in order to... Yep. See, when a screw doesn't work, it quickly becomes a nail. And that's okay. We got here. See how it just contours with the pan there? Yeah, tap that one down there. Oh yeah, that'll work fine. When that epoxy sets up, that stuff's going to dry so hard, it'll never come off. Especially with the bottom of the surface prepped like it was. It's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and knock out the other side and, I don't know, give you an idea. But then I'll think about where we're going to move to next. Maybe a little bit of step. Get you a quality undercoating or bed liner. This stuff here, never used it before. But local O'Reilly gave me the Dale discount, and I'm going to try it out for them and see how it does. So you guys shake it real good. Good enough. She's got a trigger. So we'll just... Oh, wow. Wow, that stuff is really good, folks. You see that? That's going to seal all that in. The waterproof it, texture proof it, super proof it. Super Duty. And I bought enough, I'm just going to coat the whole floor in it. Well, one can does about half the floor. Yep, that's how. Continuing our budget interior refresh, noticed a little tear in the door panel here, or in the armrest rather. And, well, I went digging, and I found one laying in my parts stash. So let's get down here and see what we got here. This one's a lot better, no tear at least. It's got that buckle in it, which I want to try to work out. And I got this crap stashed all over the place. Goodness, it's windy out here today. Tornado season. I can't wait to fight one. Let's take my heat gun and try to relax this material a little bit. Preferably without melting it. So just kind of work it as you do this, and this might help. It's too hot. Okay, I'm boiling it. That's not good. She's warm now. It came a little bit, not a whole lot, but I think that's better. I could probably live with that. Now, we got a little bit of goop on here. I used some prep sol. This is just paint prep stuff. It works really good on vinyl. It kind of opens up the pores in it and really lets that dye get in. But to get this little goop off, I'll take a Scotch-Brite and try to be gentle. Take that off, because it helps having a big old part stem. What did I get all over my arm? What is this? Oh my God! See, I got her hung up. Can you see that? Maybe you can see that. I don't know. Can you see it now? That's probably better. Now, I got her hung up. Just, you know, grab a nail and a piece of wire. And instant paint booth. Shake this stuff really good. And it's going to take at least 2 or 3 coats to change color like that. Don't lay it on too thick or you fill in the grain of the plastic in the vinyl. You want to keep that. We're just trying to get a light coat on her. Don't worry about the backside. Nobody's going to see it. It's fine. Now, what we got to do now, though, now we got to play the waiting game. And we're going to have to wait. And wait. Dry! Come on now! Well, we've refreshed up the interior a little bit. And did the same process I showed you on that armrest. And just came out pretty good. It's not bad. So, showing the doors and the steering column, and steering wheel. Our next project here is going to be these seat backs. There you've seen better days. And we're going to try to save them. I don't know. But maybe we could make them about, 10% better. Maybe. Probably not. So, we'll give that a shot. You sure you got that thing on the video setting?
I got it on.
Is it on the record?
It's on the record.
Back in my day, we didn't have any of that recorder stuff. We had a recorder, as in a flute-like instrument. Anyway, now what happens to these GM plastics a lot of the time? Out like this, and they just kind of fall apart. And frankly, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. So, what we're going to try to do about it, take Scotch-Brite and just kind of feather these edges out. That's good. Then get your compressed air gun out and blow the dust off. Just to prep for any kind of coating or paint. Take it and just... Yep. And you know, these seat backs are $79 for a pair new. And for $79? I don't think so. Oh, no, I don't. What's this?
You?
Oh. They suck. And another common mistake, rookie mistake, frankly, is thinking, well, I gotta take everything apart to paint and I gotta do everything the right way and blah, 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 blah. No. Cardboard. Available anywhere. Boom. Look, it's masked. And it moves with me. It's revolutionary technology. This is the way you do it, folks. Right here. Oh God, that looks terrible. Well, that looks horrendous. So, okay, check, check, check. Don't do this. It doesn't work. This is exactly what I intended to happen. Well, we're finally back out here. And we finally got our carpet kit. After they sent me the wrong color, and it took 2 weeks to get. Which just made me real happy. So, when you get your carpet kit, what you're going to get is a box. There we go. Come on, do better. So, inside of that box, you're going to have carpet. Yep. Yep, carpet. No apology letter. Telling you, I had a heck of a time with these people. So, once you get your carpet, you're going to notice it's got a jute padding on the back. That's for sound deadening, allegedly. We know this one's the back because it doesn't have a kick pad on it. So we'll flop it back there. Now this stuff is allegedly pre-molded, but that must be somebody's idea of a joke because I never had any that fit. So, we'll see. But, so just kind of lay it in there. And you'll notice that they always leave it oversized. That's not a bad thing. You're gonna want that. Hardcore into this. Just give her a trial fit. Get her up in there where she goes. And just kind of see what it looks like. You can see by the finished edge this has, this part goes in first. So we'll do the back first. We just want to see how far off is this. And it looks pretty good. I'll give them credit for that. A lot of trimming. So, alright. So, one of the things you want to remember when you're putting carpet in, for your seatbelt bolts, your seat bolts, whatnots, put the bolts back in. That way you don't got to go fishing for them whenever it's time to put the bolts back in. So, I think I got this in the right way. Probably not. But you can see it's kind of molded. Sort of. And it kind of fits, but not really. So this is where a little bit of finesse comes in. And what you need for that is scissors. So, first things first, get it squared up. And you don't got to get your tape measure out, get all engineerical about it. Just look at it. We're going to cut a little relief cut here. That's going to let that carpet flex. And once you figure it out, you can just snip off the excess. This cut here is a little bit tougher. This tucks up underneath the door panel. So be careful and just leave yourself plenty. Remember, you can always cut more. You can't take any back. So, or put any back rather. Geez, it's late. Now, that'll work. I'll be able to tuck that in. Let's cut this. So, I leave the edges untrimmed until I've glued it in. That way, in case I screw up, I have a little bit to work with to fix it. And I do screw up from time to time, believe it or not. Disguising your mistakes is half the battle. So what I'm going to do now that I got that cut and I kind of know where it's going to go, is get this random can of the cheapest adhesive I could find. Just start hosing it down. And let's just flop her down. Oh, yeah. And the next thing you want to do, when you get to where your bolts are, you're going to be able to feel the head. Get you a box knife and make a cross over the head. Just pops right through like that. Boom. Better than factory. I'll put you up on my noggin here to give you kind of a bird's eye view. Show you what I'm doing. Another one over here. Alright, so once you got the center part down here, and you can see it's really starting to hold here, I need to cut that. Let's cut this somewhere in there. Fellas, if you have a wife, build her a car. She'll appreciate it, and she won't give you quite as much hell for building one of your own. Just a word of advice. Gotta find our carpet presser inner tool. Got it. We only really got the edges left. Get your glue out again. It's time to go ahead and spray up here. Especially your high traffic parts. That's very important. You can also spray it right on the carpet. In fact, I think you're supposed to. But I don't. Well, because I pretty much just do everything wrong. That's kind of what I do. But just spray down everywhere like that. We'll come back to that. So lift this side up. It's pretty good. And we're going to rely on that one to help hold it down too. So just tuck it under there like you make your bed. And nobody will ever be the wiser. Don't worry about it. Yeah, for you, those of you with an engineering mindset or fancy college diplomas and stuff, frankly, I may not be for you. Because there ain't really no process or rhyme or reason to the way I do anything. You just kind of figure it out and, well, then you forget about it, and then the next time you just figure it out again. And we can kind of trim our rockers. That's better. All right. And it's okay if this carpet's a little bit loose. You don't want it to be too loose, but a little bit will be all right. There we go. All right. Well, there's kind of our final result on the rear carpet, and it looks pretty good. Now, a lot of the little things we can clean up and fix later on, but let's move on to the front one, and that's the hard part. Yep, hi there again. Now, this is pretty much more of the same. I just want to point out a couple of things. Down here behind the gas pedal, make sure you put a relief cut there. Otherwise it'll kind of bind up under the pedal, and you won't be able to do big old burnouts. And other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. Everything I showed you will do it. So probably just zip right through. Folks, I got one last seat to install. That ain't no big deal. Got the one in here. As you can see, that's a heck of a lot better. She's gonna be real happy with this. And again, she's out of town right now, and when she gets back, this should be a nice little surprise for her. And on a philosophical note, if you got a lady in your life, treat her right. Do something for her. Takes a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of work. That's what makes you a man. And that's what a man does. He takes care of his woman and gives her nice things. Now, mine don't like diamonds, particular, but she likes this. And, well, she's kind of short, so there we go. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for this one. I'm tired. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more informative things like this, or if you want to see me like blowing stuff up and wrecking into stuff. I can do both.